I wanted to turn a segmented bowl, but instead of having a uniform pattern, I wanted the pattern to be completely random. I started with a couple of scrap pieces of ambrosia maple and walnut. I'm using double-sided tape to temporarily bond the walnut with the ambrosia maple. I'm using a pencil to draw some lines on the piece of wood. There's no rhyme or reason here, just have fun with it and be creative. Off camera, I took the assembly over to the bandsaw and cut right down the lines. I used the knife to separate the bond between the two contrasting woods. I'll make sure to keep the same order, but alternate the contrasting woods. After removing the double-sided tape, I was ready for a glue-up. I used a couple of clamps to clamp everything down. After plenty of dry time, I removed the clamps. I grabbed a pencil and began to draw some more squiggly lines, but this time perpendicular to the other one. Some double-sided tape, and I was back to the bandsaw. It's not super important to cut exactly on the line, but you do want to maintain a constant feed rate and don't stall on the cut. This could remove more material and create problems down the line. And break that bond on the double-sided tape and continue to alternate the pieces. After a couple of glue ups, I figured out I'd just get the glue on the pieces, make a big mess, but it would speed up the process. One thing I should point out is I didn't sand at all up to this point. Sanding can remove some of the material and then your pieces won't line up perfectly. Glue everywhere. I just took a damp cloth and tried to clean up the best I could. This seems like a lot of work, and it can be, but I saw this as a way of filling those last 15 minutes of my shop time every day. I'd cut the pieces, glue them up, and call it a day. I'll use a homemade disc sander to flatten the top and the bottom. I'm not looking for perfection here, I'm just looking for flatness. This way when I glue up all 4 pieces, I'll have no issues. I'll take all 4 pieces and glue them all up. After marking a circle with a compass, I took it over to the bandsaw. And it ended up with a pretty cool looking bulb line. I'll attach my faceplate with a couple of screws. And it's ready to go on the lathe. I'm using the bowl gouge to true up the black. I use the parting tool to create a tenon. Then I continue to shape a radius on the bottom of the bowl. I was kind of hesitant to use the bowl gouge as a scraper. I know it's a common practice, but I just don't have that much experience with it. I was lucky enough to have my buddy Braxton workman in the shop, and he led me in the right direction. Braxton has a great YouTube channel. He's an amazing turner. Make sure you go check him out. I'll leave a link in the description. I worked through the grits, put some finish on it, and it wasn't up until this point until I realized it was really a chaotic looking pattern. I removed the faceplate and installed my chuck. I gave the bowl gouge a quick touch up on the grinder, and it was back to hogging out all that material on the lathe. I installed my jam chuck and was getting ready to turn the foot or the tenon off the bowl. I realized I liked the way that looked, and I decided to keep it. I really like this chaotic pattern. I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. I have a couple more projects in mind using the same process. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you haven't already, please subscribe and ring that bell. That way you'll be notified when I release a new video.